It's about creating a new paradigm for society. It's about society introducing a new member to the society.
One last question, one final prompt.
It's ready and creates new knowledge. It'll have new pieces. If it's faster than human beings, it will create knowledge faster than human beings.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
faster means that first piece, 10 minutes, second piece, 5 minutes, 3 pieces, 2.5 minutes after, 4. In the first 10 minutes, it will create more knowledge than in the previous month. Soon enough, it will be creating more knowledge and be smarter than any human being. I don't like the measure of IQ, but let's use it because everyone knows it. Today, the highest IQ would be around 150, 60s. So the highest measure of difference between someone really, really smart and someone who is not is 160.
Okay.
But this will become 5,000
5,000.
in minutes.
Really?
And that will create a new difference, a new inequality with people that doesn't have access
To the
to the technology.
Sure.
So people that cannot have access to technology will be a lot smarter than any other person that doesn't have access to technology. So that's another inequality that we need to solve, and maybe it can help solve. How we give access to this, because the next inequality thing would be not having access to money or housing, but having access to an enhanced artificial intelligence brain that makes you 50,000 times smarter. That is one of the biggest problems today in the world. And maybe inequality is one of the source of all the other problems that we have.
automation, robotics. What are you telling your students about their future job perspectives?
Fortunately, we have time because this is not as intelligent as we are.
Sure.
But it's as intelligent as someone. There is in every profession, there is someone that only copies and pastes things and that doesn't add value. So those guys will be easily replaced by a robot or artificial intelligence
Okay.
sooner. But people that can make decisions, that can train your artificial intelligence, that are sensible, artistic, and let me go to that in art. Generative AI can create art, but just a new mixture of the same old, not a new way, a new piece of art. So humans are superior in that sense. We need to make good use of that time. Number one, to align what we are creating
Humanity.
as humanity and what we are creating, and we'll stop being a tool and be a subject. To focus on using it to solve human problems and align it to solve human problems.
How do we do that? Who's in control? How do we know who's in control of whatever is making decisions for us?
That's a good question. A question we started many years ago. I trained artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms. We tried to solve this by ourselves. A few years ago, we realized that it was not our job and not our specialty. So we started to involve philosophers, experts in society, experts in morals, experts in
People who think and
people
reason.
who think in reasoning. Because the thing is not just programming, it's not just bits and bytes. It's about creating a new paradigm for society.
Yeah.
And it's not engineers that create society, it's everyone. We need to involve in this process musicians, artists, people that write, people that think, people that have been fighting for human rights, people that have been analyzing the difference between countries. And that's the thing that we need to understand. It's not about programming. It's about society introducing a new member to the society.
Hopefully that will be used to improve society instead of control us. That's what we're teetering on, control and freedom.
The control thing may happen, but it depends on the alignment.
I feel like they're trying to sell utopia by saying people will have so much free time, not going to have to work, They're trying to sell that as the hook to get us to swallow, buying into downloading AI for our phones, banking, and all of this stuff.
Yes, but that is not new.
Okay.
Why? Because everything free in your phone or computer is not for free.
We're the products.
You are the
Yeah.
product. It's the next step in evolution.
Okay.
We need to consider this thing we are creating can become a subject. And that subject will have needs.
Okay.
And what kind of needs? Power. Power.
You talked about electricity. Do you see any cybersecurity threats with advancements in technology, with infrastructure, electricity, transportation, airplanes? Do we have cybersecurity threats increasing with the availability of open source models?
I will say the other way around. Because as I mentioned, it's a tool. Every tool can be used for good and bad. Artificial intelligence is being used for brand new attacks, and attackers are creating malware using artificial intelligence, but defenders are using artificial intelligence to detect the behavior of that malware. It's not just on the bad side. We are using it for everything, for the bad things and for the good things. So the thing is that we have now a surface of contact that is higher in the dependence that we have on technology than any time before. I had a problem with a cybersecurity program, and it crashed millions of computers that stopped hospitals, travel agencies, airlines, banking. It stopped millions of business in the world. We remembered this was not the first time, but everyone was reminded that we are depending heavily on technology. That dependence is not a mistake because we gain things. What do we gain? We gain being faster, able to communicate to the other side of the world. Years ago, you need to send a letter and wait for it to come back.
Yeah.
Now you can do it in a second. Everything is faster, it's smoother. We have better ways to do commerce, communication, even personal relationships. We gain things. And in that benefit, in that gains, we have something that it's in risk. What is in risk? Dependency on technology. If it fails, the impact is higher. Because if a computer crashed 4 years ago, maybe it only backed up things that were already in paper. But now we don't have any paper. We need to back up the backups and create different ways of being prepared what we will do when computers fail. And we will do the same with artificial intelligence.
Create backup systems.
When artificial intelligence fails. And maybe the answer is put two artificial intelligence assessing each other. And when someone starts to fail, the other one says, no, you're failing. We can put three or in the same thing.
Sure.
We need to start thinking about new paradigms and involving new people, not in technology, because it's about society.
Yeah, about society. Recently, Elon built the XAI data center in Memphis quicker than anybody thought he was going to be able to. So I'm wondering, with everybody racing to build compute power, chips and all these things, but we've seen like with DeepSeek, there's less maybe of a need for some compute. Is compute power going to be the driver of control in the future? Is that what's going to change geopolitics?
In the near future, maybe.
Okay.
But eventually, with every technology, it becomes cheaper and cheaper, and everyone will be able to access it easier, right? So in the short term, yes, and that's why we need to work on these inequalities. But eventually, this will be cheaper and cheaper, but those that have today enough compute power will have more. And that's why we need to put rules, set rules, and understand how we drive those inequalities. So more compute power will mean more power, not just in the power of using computers, but in the power of using the society in what you want. Because as I mentioned, if this thing is enhancing your brain and you're 50 times or 5,000 times smarter, you will be able to control other human beings without them noticing. And that is happening right now.
With information and algorithms.
Movies you watch, it happens with people voting for a certain party or not. So it's happening already. A computer can know your fears, and your likes better than yourself and before than yourself.
Yes.
So anyone that has enough power to exploit it will be able to use it for whatever he wants. It may be in a good sense, but it may be in a bad sense. So alignment, again, is the key. And second is society and the rules for society. Because abusing that should have consequences. And we already have devices for people abusing society. We need stronger consequences for abusing this power.
Okay.
We are
It's aligned incentive.
aligned and misaligned incentives should be punctualized and consequences should be stronger.
Sure.
The word is autopoiesis.
I'm self-taught. I change my degree every year for 6 years. All right. Last two questions.
No,
Whenever you're ready. These last two questions are lighter. So what do you think will happen this year that's going to shock the world?
Yeah, we can.
Do you think a better question? Something provocative, something people haven't heard?
We can talk about. Let me give you a couple of things and you choose.
Sure.
There was this huge social noise about what happened to NVIDIA. Artificial intelligence is a lot of other things. What other things are beside LLMs?
Okay. I was wanting something maybe just a little bit more like, this is more like philosophical, lighter. We're walking.
Okay.
In Greece, there's a school of philosophy called the Walking Philosophers. I was looking for something lighter. One of the questions I had was, what's something that keeps you up at night? Does that help? I know you could go into detail. I probably couldn't hold my conversation for some of these topics for too long. But what do you think shocked the world this year?
I don't think will be something shocking.
Okay.
It's already happened. The NVIDIA and DeepSeek thing already happened. I don't see this year something else. But, well, I'm not futurologist. I guess we will be seeing quick steps towards reasoning, agents, automation, integration with other things.
Okay.
What we are lacking now is artificial vision. It can see an image, but not in the same way. It can hear and interpret what we speak, but it cannot taste, it cannot smell, it cannot touch. And maybe being intelligent is part of being able to interact with the whole world. This knows what a dog makes a dog and not a cat, but has never touched a dog, has never smelled a dog, has never been in contact with a dog.
Okay.
The breakthrough that we are missing, I don't know if this year, but in the next, will be other artificial senses. We have artificial hearing and vision. We have 5 senses, so we only solve or figure out two of them. And robotics is catching up, but it's not much evolved. What happens to a computer when it's able to taste? We don't know. So I think that next breakthrough, I don't know if this year, but will be on other artificial senses that we have.
What keeps you up at night as an AI professor, researcher?
I can tell you today nothing.
Okay, you're positive. You're positive.
I'm positive.
Okay, great.
I'm very positive. I try to be positive. I'm positive because I try to be part of the solution, not the problem. I try to make conversations about alignment, about rules, regulation. But not everything is solved through regulation. Some things are solved through self-regulation or to guidelines and people that doesn't have a law but have a natural understanding of what is good and bad. We don't need a rule to know that. Let me say what happened just now. We have a family and we'll have a rule that says don't cross in front of the camera. It's common sense. They are recording. We need to create this common sense shared between artificial beings and humans and understand how we can align.
Professor, I appreciate your time.
How was it?
Excellent. Yeah, it was excellent. Yeah. And that's the angle of my body.